everyone, today we will be doing Dust of Snow, a poem by Robert Frost, and it's a very important poem, and today we will be able to complete the whole poem. So Dust of Snow it is. So this is the first stanza of the poem. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So over here the poet is talking about, these two, first of all, the paragraphs are in continuation. So it starts abruptly by a simple incident that happened in poet's life. So in the first stanza, the poet mentions a crow sitting on a hemlock tree. So a crow, which is superstitiously considered a bad luck, and hemlock tree, which is a very poisonous tree and is generally considered as a poisonous tree. So the crow is sitting on a poisonous tree, and the crow throws the rest of snow, gets thrown on the poet by the crow. The crow throws dust of snow on the poet. The dust of snow is like a little piece of snow. The second stanza goes like, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. So the poet realizes that an action as tiny as falling the dust of snow has given him the healing powers and changes the poet's mood. So this tells us that the poet was not in a good mood, right? And the dust of snow that fall on the poet, that this just give an inspiration to the poem, and the poet felt very happy, and some part of the day was saved by this tiny act of nature. So you'll be like, that's it, that's the poem, 2 stanzas complete? Yes. Well, let me tell you the summary so you'll be able to understand it even more better. So the beginning of the poem, we talk about that the poet is in a very sad mood and is walking by a hemlock tree, which is generally considered very poisonous. Middle, so an omnious crow, a crow is a symbol of bad luck. A crow is a symbol of bad luck, is sitting on the branch of a poisonous tree, a poisonous hemlock tree. He shakes the tree, causing a tiny dust of snow to fall on the poet. So there's a tiny dust of snow that fall on the poet. And at the end, the poet realizes that an action as tiny as falling the dust of snow has given him the healing powers and changed the poet's mood. Now the poet is feeling happy because, he felt cold. Ekdam se the dust of snow fell on him and he felt relaxed, and an action as tiny as falling of a dust of snow made the poet's day, and he is not a sad mood. He's not in a sad mood anymore. Now, important questions from this chapter. A lot of important questions can be asked because it's a very small poem, so everything is kind of indirectly given. So the important questions are, number 1, did the crow play an important role in the poet's day? Yes, the crow plays an important role in the improving poet's day, and its movement causes the dust of snow to fall from the branch of a hemlock tree on the poet's head. The dust of snow relaxes the poet, making him realize that nature is magical and healing powers, and so the crow lifted the mood of the poet and gave him a positive insight towards his life, right? So that's the answer to this question, and it's a very important question, guys. The next question is, why does the poet feel that he has saved some part of his day? So the poet, who was feeling very sad and depressed before, felt an instant shift in the mood when he felt some dust of snow on him. Whenever, at the spot when dust of snow fell on him, he was like, feeling very good. It was almost like a reminder for him that despite the sorrows and problems, life is full of nature's miracles. So what does this poem talk about actually? That also we're going to discuss, and in fact the poetic devices is also what we're going to discuss. So please stay tuned. Now he found himself relieved from sorrow after this incident, and now he could use his entire day in a fruitful way. Whatever day he has wasted by just thinking and by being sad, now he can utilize that day, and his entire day will be fruitful just because of that small act of nature. So what is irony and what is ironical in this poem, guys? I'll tell you what is irony, and there is something ironical in this poem. So in literature, irony is a literary device that shows the difference between an expected situation and an actual situation. So an expected situation was that his whole day is going to go sad. He saw a crow, which is for bad luck, a poisonous tree, a hemlock tree, already so poisonous, so bad, the day is going disgusting. But the poem is an example of a situational irony. For the poet, the crow and the hemlock tree were omnious symbols of darkness, but they were the ones, if they weren't have been there, the dust of snow would have not fallen on the poet's head and wouldn't have saved the rest of the day of the poet. But apparently, the unlucky crow sitting on the poisonous hemlock is what caused the soft dust of snow to fall on the poet. And this made the poets happy, and the poet was very happy and was not feeling sad and regret. These things were decipated, were removed. And this is what's ironical in the poem. The last question, I guess. Yeah, the last question. Do you agree that nature is the central theme of the poem, or are there any apparent themes? So yes, nature and its healing power is one of the central themes of the poem, because that's because of nature that the mood of the poet was uplifted. It shows how a little act of nature can do wonders in the mood of human beings. And there's another theme of the poem, that appreciation of little things in life, a deep connection with nature, would help identifying true sources of happiness, guys. And when one pays close attention to little things in life, they realize that a tiny miracle is enough to turn around the day from sad and depressing to happy and grateful. So true, guys. So true. Now we are on to the poetic devices. I guess this is something which we all have been waiting for. So irony, as I already told you, the crow is not a sign of good luck, but it is still able to improve the poet's day. Something expected. Expectations was that crow is not a sign of good luck. It's for bad luck. What good it could do to you. But the poet's day was made up by just that the crow and the hemlock tree. So alliteration is there. So in the second stanza, if we talk about saved some, as you can see in your book as well, saved some is written, and both of them starts with the little s. So alliteration is also a poetic device. Enjambment, you can see in the poem that there were no punctuations, guys. Okay, I have to kind of get back to the Yep. Over here you can see that look at this stanza, first stanza. There were no punctuations. The way the crow, no punctuation. Next line. Shook down on me, no punctuation. Next line. Samajh rahe ho? That's what's enjambment. Now let's get back to our poetic devices. Alright. Symbolism, guys, this one's very important. I was talking about symbolism. This one's very, very, very important. So symbolism is also there. Hemlock tree and the crow are symbols of negativity. That's why, that's why symbolism is also, a poetic device, because they are the symbols of negativity, and that's what symbolism is. Now fatafat say theme and rhyming scheme, these are the last ones. So rhyming scheme is A B A B C D C D. A B A B C D C D. I'll tell you how at the end. Setting of the poem is in a snow covered forest. We know, in a snow covered forest. One more thing which is very important are the characters. The poet and the crow are the main two characters, living characters we are talking about here. Theme of the poem is winter sadness and healing properties of nature. Very important, very, very, very important. So yeah, that's very important, the winter sadness and healing properties of the nature. Well, thank you. I'll quickly tell you the rhyming scheme, guys. So I'll open up quickly. Yep, yes, there we go. The rhyming scheme is A B A B. Look, W E O W and then E and then O W and then E. Samajh rahe ho? W last letters dekhna, W E O W and E. So yeah, that's A B A B for you. And this one's T D T D. Simple. Well, that's it for the chapter. Have a great day and see you soon. Bye.